Hello everyone, welcome to Everyday Essential series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss the important topics from the Hindu and the Indian Express as well as other government sources like PAB and the All India Radio. So today let's discuss the topics of 12th of August 2025. First we are going to discuss about the Cooperative Election Authority. Second about the Orbiting Carbon Observatory Mission. Third about the Perito Moreno Glacier, and finally Zambia country mapping. So starting with our first topic, that is the Cooperative Election Authority. So why we are discussing this now? Because this authority, the Cooperative Election Authority, held its first consultative meeting with the state cooperative election authorities. And that meeting aimed to develop a mechanism of dialogue with state cooperative election authorities so that the elections in cooperative bodies are conducted in a free and fair manner and the process becomes more transparent. So this body notified in the year 2024 only and held its first meeting with the state cooperative election authorities. To held on what basis? What is the discussion of this meeting? That is the elections to the cooperative bodies, the cooperative societies, that is the primary agricultural cooperative societies or the urban cooperative societies, whatever it is in that cooperative society, this body has discussed the election procedure with the state cooperative election authorities. So coming to the authority, this authority was notified on 11th of March 2024. How? By making an amendment to the Multi-State Cooperative Act 2002. So this amendment was made to this act in the year 2023. So through this amendment and under this section 45 of this Multi-State Cooperative Act 2002 and the amendment of in this 2023, this Cooperative Election Authority was formed on 11th March 2024. And this Cooperative Election Authority includes a chairperson, vice chairperson, and the members who are not exceeding the 3 members. So this is the composition of the Cooperative Election Authority. And what are the functions of this cooperative election authority? The name itself tells us that this authority will conduct the elections of the multi-state cooperative society. It will conduct elections and it will also be responsible to supervise, direct and control the matters relating to the preparation of the electoral rolls for these multi-state cooperative societies, and also it functions other functions as may be prescribed by the government. So as we have the separate Ministry of Cooperation, Ministry of Cooperation. So this Cooperative Election Authority was also formed, which will look into the election process of this multi-state cooperative societies. And moving to our second topic, that is the Orbiting Carbon Observatory Missions, OCO. So why we are discussing this? The Trump administration of the United States of America has reportedly asked the NASA, that is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, to prepare to shut down 2 major satellites. Those are these orbiting carbon observatories, which monitor the atmospheric carbon dioxide and the crop health, citing the budgetary issues. The Trump administration has mandated or asked this NASA to prepare to shut down these 2 orbiting carbon observatory missions. So we'll see what are those missions. So these OCOs, orbiting carbon observatory missions, are a Earth remote sensing satellite. So it will remote sense. It will analyze the data of this atmospheric carbon dioxide through the remote sensing. So it will observe the atmospheric CO2 from the space. So what is the purpose? To better understand the characteristics of climate change. As CO2 is the global greenhouse gas, GHG. So observing this atmospheric CO2 from this space, we can, or the scientists can better understand the characteristics of this global warming and in turn the climate change, so that they are in a position to take measures to also to tackle with this climate change. So coming to the history of this OCOs, orbiting carbon observatory mission 1 was first launched in the year February 2009 but failed to the technical glitches. And second mission was launched in the year 2014 in the month of July, and it was placed in the sun synchronous polar orbit. Sun synchronous polar orbit. And at that time, the mission duration was 2 years. But now it is also still continuing. And what this OCO2 will do, it will measure the, or it has measured, or it is measuring the atmospheric CO2 via 3 high resolution near IR infrared spectrometers. And as it is placed in the sun synchronous polar orbit, this OCO2 will observe the atmospheric CO2 of a given location at the same time. So during a day, in the same time, during one period, same time, it will observe the CO2 in a given particular location. This is the OCO2. And then again in the May 2019, OCO3 was launched and it has injected into the ISS, International Space Station, that is the Japanese Experiment Module Exposed Facility. In this particular crew cabin, this OCO3 was injected into the International Space Station. And this orbit will orbit the Earth every 90 minutes so that it will observe this or atmospheric CO2 at a location at different times in a day. So it will observe one place, it will target one place to observe this atmospheric CO2. So at 7 a.m. morning, it will observe what is the CO2 level here, and it will observe at 9 a.m. what is the CO2 level here. So likewise, in a day, it will observe this particular location at different times of the day as it is, or as it orbits Earth every 90 minutes. And the lifetime of this OCO3 is 10 years. But now the Trump administration is saying that to shut down this two, OCO2 and the OCO3 due to the budgetary issues. And NASA is not preparing to shut down, but it is looking for other alternatives to continue this orbiting carbon observatories. So why it is important? So what is the significance of these missions? Say, it will help to monitor the global CO2 levels so that we can know how much is the accelerating, how much is the atmospheric CO2 is releasing and what is the impact it is causing to the climate. And it will also help in the scientific breakthroughs. Through this orbiting carbon observatory only, the scientists got to know that the carbon sinks. What are the carbon sinks? The forest, right? The carbon sinks are only acting as the carbon source when at the times of deforestation. So the tree stores the carbon. That's how it is acting as the carbon sink. When we cut this tree, the stored carbon in this tree is again releasing into the atmosphere. That's how after cutting this tree, this same carbon sink is acting as the source of the carbon emitter. This was observed by the scientists through these OCO missions only. And next one, it will also help to assess the crop health and the ecosystem insights. This OCO will help in understanding the photosynthesis and other crop health related matters. So by analyzing all these methods, or by analyzing the atmospheric carbon dioxide from the space, it will help the scientists to tackle the climate action. It will give insights on how to tackle this climate action and the global warming. And coming to the third topic, that is the Perito Moreno Glacier. So why we are discussing this? This is an iconic Argentinian glacier which was long thought to be the one of the stable glacier. Stable means stable glacier. It is stable, so that it means not retreating or not thinning its ice. But recently, what the scientists have found it is that it is now undergoing its most substantial retreat in the past century. But this glacier, once thought to be stable, has also undergoing the changes that it is retreating. So let's see about this Perito Moreno Glacier. So it is also known as the White Giant. It is located near the city of the El Calafate in the Santa Cruz province of the Argentina. That is a South American country. It lies in the Andes Mountains. Andes Mountains are situated in the South America or the Latin America. And this Perito Moreno Glacier comes under the Los Glaciers National Park of the Santa Cruz, which is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And this glacier is the major source of fresh water for Argentina, but it is also showing retreating since 2020. Here you can see the pictures of this Perito Moreno Glacier. Now coming to a final topic, that is this Zambia. See here, you can see it is Zambia in this Africa. And it is also a landlocked country in the Africa, Central and the East Africa. It is bordered by on its west, it has Angola and Democratic Republic of Congo on its north, and Tanzania on its northeast, east Malawi and the Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, Botswana, and Namibia. Its capital is Lusaka. And Zambia, the name Zambia comes from the Zambezi River. And its rivers include Zambezi, Kafue, Luangwa. And the lakes include Lake Kariba, which is the largest artificial lake, largest man-made artificial lake of the world. This Lake Kariba, which forms the boundary with the Zimbabwe, and the Lake Tanganyika, which forms the boundary with the Tanzania, and also the Lake Bangweelu. Here you can see those lakes and the rivers. It's the Zambezi River and Lake Kariba, which forms the boundary between this Zambia and the Zimbabwe, and also the here Luangwa River, Lake Bangweelu, and Lake Tanganyika. You can see this is the Lake Tanganyika, which forms the boundary between this Zambia and the Tanzania. So that's all for today. Thank you.